Chapter 1, A Song in the Chaos. The city Millwood was alive with noise and movement. Cars honked impatiently at the crowded intersection, their drivers tapping steering wheels in frustration. Vendors called out to potential customers, their voices competing with the clatter of footsteps on the pavement. Amid the cacophony, people rushed by, heads down, eyes glued to their phones or fixed on the path ahead. It was a world of haste, urgency, and distraction. But in the midst of all the chaos, there was Samuel, an old man. He sat on the edge of the sidewalk, a tattered blanket spread beneath him. His clothes were worn and patched, but yet kept neat, his sandals barely held together with frayed straps. Yet, his face bore a radiant smile, one that seemed almost out of place in the city's hurried environment. In his hands, he cradled a guitar, old, weathered, but it still produced a sound that was oddly beautiful. Samuel began to strum, his fingers moving over the strings with surprising grace. A gentle melody rose above the noise, soft at first, but gradually it carried over the honks, shouts, and chatter. His voice followed, low and gravelly, yet full of a warmth that seemed to beckon anyone who would listen. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound! That saved a wretch like me. Some hurried by without a second glance. They were too busy, too consumed by their own struggles to notice the man singing by the roadside. But every now and then, someone would slow their pace and stops to listen. A mother walking with her child paused briefly, her child tugging at her hand to listen. A delivery man on his bike glanced over, the tension on his face softening for a moment. Some people dropped some money into Samuel's rusted tin can, though he never asked for money. He didn't sing for that. He sang because it was his calling, a way to share the love and hope he had found in Jesus Christ with anyone who cared to listen. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. A young woman, visibly stressed, stopped a few feet away. Her arms were full of grocery bags, her phone pressed to her ear. As Samuel's song reached her, she seemed to forget her conversation for a moment. Her shoulders relaxed, and she closed her eyes, letting the melody wash over her. For those brief moments, Samuel's voice cut through the chaos, offering something the city seemed to lack, peace. Samuel had a habit that many found peculiar. After every verse, he would pause his strumming and lift his hand, palm open, toward the people passing by. God bless you, he would say softly, his voice barely audible over the noise. Some ignored him entirely. Others gave him a polite nod. A few smiled back, touched by the sincerity in his voice. But Samuel didn't mind whether they acknowledged him or not. He knew his blessings, whispered in faith, carried weight far beyond what the eye could see. One child, sitting on his father's shoulders, waved back enthusiastically. Bless you too, he called, his innocent voice ringing out above the din. Samuel chuckled, his eyes sparkling with joy. He picked up his guitar again and began to sing, his voice a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil of the city. His eye is on the sparrow. And I know he watches me. Samuel didn't have much by the world's standards, but what he did have, he gave freely, a song, a blessing, and the love of Jesus for all who passed by. And in that moment, amidst the rush and noise, Samuel's song reminded the world that even in chaos, there is a peace that surpasses all understanding. Now a man who was with saddest face walked slowly down the street, his gaze unfocused. He had been struggling with the loss of his wife, who had passed away 6 months ago. Every day felt the same, empty and heavy. But as he passed Samuel, he heard the familiar chords of Blessed Assurance. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. The words cut through his sorrow. He had sung this hymn with his wife countless times, their voices blending in harmony as they praised God together. He stopped, leaning against a nearby lamppost, and allowed the tears to fall. Samuel finished the song, then looked up and offered a gentle, God bless you, my friend. His grief felt a little more bearable as he nodded, unable to speak but deeply moved. It was as if Samuel's song had reminded him that his wife's faith wasn't gone, that the hope they shared in Christ was eternal. That evening, he prayed for the first time in months, asking God to help him carry on, knowing his wife was safe with him.